Oh God. Oh God. This is the end. Tell Ada I love her. What's this? Oh, wow. I feel great now. Okay. Let's take out that G virus. The Resident Evil franchise is synonymous with the survival horror genre. However, when recently playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time, I was disappointed to seemingly find it closer to an action movie than survival horror. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game for what it was, but I didn't find what I was looking for. Resident Evil 2 was everything I wanted and expected out of Resident Evil 4. The feeling of using every last item you find to just barely scrape by. The less frequently used but more dangerous enemies. The dark atmosphere with danger lurking around every corner. And the butt-puckering tension of being stalked by an unkillable enemy. Every facet of Resident Evil 2 is geared towards making you feel like you're fighting for your life to survive the deadly G virus, and it results in a package that feels grounded in reality despite the zombie apocalyptic type circumstances. And that's why I absolutely adored this game. Resident Evil 2 is Leon Kennedy's first appearance in the franchise. The story starts with him showing up at a random gas station and getting his first look at what he learns to be the G virus. He escapes the gas station, runs into Claire Redfield, and together they run to the police station to try and figure out what's going on. Leon recently signed up to the police force, and the game takes place on what was supposed to be his first day on the job. Leon doesn't learn much at first, other than the police station has been overrun and he needs to figure out a way to escape. He gets an escape plan from one of the officers, and from here on out you're solving puzzles and moving your way through different areas just trying to survive. Eventually he meets up with Ada, who tells us she's an FBI agent, and we work with her to try and stop the G virus. The story overall was incredibly captivating. The game starts with the G virus running rampant out of nowhere, and while escaping alive is first and foremost, I was really into finding out the secrets of what happened here in Raccoon City, reading all the notes left behind, and trying to piece together the story. It served the game well as motivation to keep players wanting to keep progressing, finding out what could have gone so wrong to cause this disaster. But the real winner here is the gameplay mixed with the atmosphere and tension that the world creates. The contrast in combat in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2 is absolutely astounding. For one, I literally never felt like I had enough ammo or supplies in the RE2 remake, so every encounter was a big deal. Do I have enough ammo to kill this infected? A lot of the time it made more sense to line up a shot and then bolt past the infected as the shot staggered it. This made every single encounter frightening, as I felt like I needed to strategically figure out how to get past the infected while conserving the most amount of ammo possible. Compare this to RE4, where it feels like you are constantly mowing down hordes and hordes of infected, and the experience is night and day. If you happen to see my video on Resident Evil 4, you'll remember that the section that stuck out to me the most was actually when you played as Ashley. I liked how vulnerable she was, unable to defend herself and just trying to survive. That section must have been inspired by RE2 because the entire game felt pretty similar to Ashley's section. The areas you're placed in are dark and feel dangerous, and the sound design just creates so much tension I'm ready to jump at any second. And there's no better example of this than being stalked by Mr. X. The sounds of his footsteps haunt me in my dreams, and nothing has my blood running cold like being in a close-quartered area with him right on my tail. Whoever came up with the idea of an unkillable boss stalking you throughout half the game really deserves an award or something. The amount of times I wanted to just shut my eyes and it all be over are countless. But you can't really do that in a video game, so I had to battle through the stress and hope I came out on the other side. The game design made me feel like a real human trying to survive the most dire situation, and that spoke to me much more on a personal level than feeling like the untouchable superhero Leon is in RE4 that is never really in any danger. But Resident Evil 2 isn't perfect. It is still trying to be dumb fun in certain instances, the most notable example being the sewer section where you're running from an infected alligator the size of a building. This had me feeling like I was Crash Bandicoot running from a boulder. I also think I'm learning that I'm a little too smooth-brained to fully enjoy Resident Evil. RE2 again is heavily based on puzzles, and these just always seem to be more of a chore to me than anything else. I don't like needing to have an IGN guide up my entire playthrough just to feel confident that I can get through the game. Some puzzles were simple enough to figure out, and the game gives you tons of hints like the officer's notebook that draws out the symbols for you to help tackle the police station. But then I get to things like creating the herbicide, and I'm just sitting here like there's no way in a million years I would have figured this out without a guide. From my little experience with the franchise, it seems like puzzles are a huge part of Resident Evil, and maybe I'm just a little too dumb to enjoy that aspect of the game. But I do appreciate what they're trying to do here. It just isn't turning out to be my cup of tea. My biggest disappointment with Resident Evil 2 was the second run I did with Claire. I was originally really excited at the thought of playing through the game again, seeing what Claire was up to while I was handling things with Leon. But the second run just didn't offer enough new content for me. It started off strong, with Claire coming up the back of the station and having the same interaction from Leon's story but from the other point of view. And there were a few new sections that I really enjoyed, like breaking Sherry out of the orphanage. But the in-between of doing the exact same thing as Leon just took all of the air out of the second run. When I got into the police station, I was thinking at least I don't have to find the coins again to get underground since Leon already did it. I was fully expecting it to be open right away. Nope, you have to do it again for some reason. Why am I fighting the same bosses in the same area? Why do I need to disperse the herbicide again? It just felt like filler to me. I would have much rather had only the new segments, even if it meant the second run was incredibly short. I get why they want the second run to be as long as the first. If we're experiencing what Claire was doing while Leon did his thing, then it has to be the same amount of time unless she's transcending time and space. But the amount of repeated content in the second run made me not want to do it. I had to slog through the sections I had already experienced to get to the new parts. I really liked the idea they had here, but it wasn't well executed. And this experience completely turned me away from doing Claire's first run just to experience Leon's second run. Overall, Resident Evil 2 is an incredible package worthy of carrying the survival horror name. Despite its flaws, nothing gets my juices flowing like trying to race through hallways of infected while I'm almost out of ammo and hearing the steady footsteps of Mr. X chasing me down from behind. It's these stressful moments that made this game memorable for me, and really makes me want to continue playing through the franchise to see what else it has to offer. But I'm not really sure what to expect. I've now played through 2, 4, and 5, and this experience is the first one that actually felt like it deserved to be called a survival horror game. Every enemy being a threat, along with well-designed dark environments and music designed to build tension, has me rating Resident Evil 2 as my favorite in the franchise thus far. And I can't wait to see where Leon's story goes next. Come on, pick up the phone, pick up the phone. Oh, hey, Konami, listen, we need to talk. It's Leon. I just finished Resident Evil 2. Why'd you make me look like such a little wimp? I'm an action star. I should be doing karate and backflips, and I'm way tougher than that. So listen up. In the next game, I better... What do you mean I'm not in the next game? Fuck you. What a joke, man. Not in the next game.